question which people are struggling with. And I believe that 70% of the interview is based on this particular question. If you could throw a right impression in front of the interviewer with this set of questions, I think that 60-70% job is done. So the first question coming across to you, ma'am, is tell me something about yourself. How do we frame this particular question effectively? Is there a framework, and can you guide us? This is what been asked by the students.
So students, as you all know, this is, as Prathamesh said, I would say 80% of interviews begin with this question. It is the first and the foremost question. Sounds very simple, a very innocent attempt by the interviewer. But honestly, as Prathamesh rightly mentioned, it will determine 90% of your chances of cracking the interview or not. Because you're being gauged completely as a package. Now, you would think this question, I would like to give you a foreground rather, before I give you the framework or a background. This question actually is not about describing your entire personal story or your entire journey so far, okay? It's not about you talking about your personal life or your family members. It is more related to the job and the profile. So be very careful that you're not talking only about yourself, but you need to talk about what is there in you or what it takes in you or what are you going to bring to the table, what values are you going to bring to the organization. That is what they're looking for, right? Do you have it in you? What the company is looking for. Now, to answer this question effectively, apart from the fact that you need to research and do your homework about yourself, about your skill set, about your career journey so far, about your experiences that you have learned, about you have gained, about your takeaways and learnings from your projects and summer internships. So there's a lot of groundwork or a homework that you need to do before you answer this question about yourself, which is a very personal, framework which you will be creating, which I'll take you through as to what details you need to include. But this is what you need to do. But apart from that, you have to research about the company. What are the company's goals and visions? What is the job profile all about? What is the job description like? What does the job require? What is it asking for? What values, what skill sets does this particular profile or job need, right? Or is looking out for? What is the interviewer looking out for in this particular interview from you? This is very important. So basically, understanding both the perspectives. So knowing yourself, okay, doing your homework and your script and pointers ready. At the same time, trying to know what the company perspective is, what the company is looking for. Only then you can give a very good tell me about yourself answer. Okay. So taking you through the framework, as I told you, as you all are looking for, right? Some kind of a framework where you fit in. So before I take you to the framework, another aspect I want to tell you is the things that you should avoid before I tell you what you should do. So as I told you, avoid your life story, avoid your personal information, especially too much of family details. Let me give an example. You would rather say where you belong from, I hail from, or I reside in so and so place. Please don't say I stay in. Okay, that sounds very informal and layman or not very, professional. So when you say that, you do not tell why you are in Mumbai. You do not tell where you were before this and how you moved in and how the life has changed for you, because that's not what the interviewer is looking for. He just wants to know if you are in a city which is easy for you to commute to work. Okay, so remember, always what is in it for them. Okay, the interviewer is thinking, what is in it for me? इस बंदे में ऐसा क्या है जो मुझे मेरे कंपनी में या इस जॉब में फायदा करेगा? So in short, to put it in Hindi, right? That's one. Now, another thing, as I told you, companies' goals or companies' mission, vision, जो भी है. For example, if it's an NGO, just giving an example, the company obviously believes in CSR, environmental projects. So you will talk about any kind of projects you have done pro bono or any kind of community service you have been involved with or any kind of NGO worked with, okay? Because here you are, of course, to express, but also to impress. I would put it that way, right? So that is something you need to work on. Now, this question is very crucial. Experience with mock interviews which I have conducted. Students get very negative and tell me about yourself. They start telling, I am a fresher, I don't have any experience. So my students, I would like to tell you, please do not use anything negative. Okay, don't be negative about yourself. Avoid any kind of negative impression. Obviously, okay, if I have to give you a very funny example, I think Prathamesh will like this example. If you're dating somebody and you want to create a good impression, okay, you want that person to like you or choose you as a life partner, whatever. Obviously, you're not going to tell on the first day that I don't know anything to do. I don't have, I don't know how to work. I don't know, I'm not good at people. I'm not good at talking. You're not going to talk about your negative things, right? So why in your job? Because many students say, I don't have any experience. Rather say what you have. Rather talk about what skills you possess. Rather talk about what experience you've had so far, whether it's small or big. Even if you don't have any work experience, you're a complete fresher, which many of you could be. You can talk about what you have learned in your college activities. Maybe you have taken some initiatives. Maybe you have, organized some events, or maybe you have worked closely with the cultural team and you have handled certain responsibilities. So talk about the learnings and what responsibilities you've handled, small or big. Any achievement matters, right? So that is the important thing. Avoid personal life stories. Avoid negative talks about self. Then you'll say that, okay, ma'am, we need to avoid this. So what do we need to say now? Now let me come to the framework which you all are looking for. The first thing is we all talk about our names. Now just imagine, it's so funny. If I say, hi Prathamesh, how are you? Tell me something about yourself. And Prathamesh says, my name is Prathamesh. Okay, so I just called you by your name. Obviously, why do you have to tell me your name? So that creates an impression to the interviewer कि भाई हाँ इसने अब script करके आया, ये by heart करके आया, and he has to start with the name because you by hearted it. So please don't by heart it. Be genuine. Let it come very naturally. Just remember what you need to tell about yourself. Don't run with the script because you lose out on the genuinity. You're not feeling your words. Okay, so feel what you're saying, right? That is very important. So first you start with a name only if the interviewer doesn't know your name. If he says, okay, hi, yes, have your seat. Yes, sorry, could you tell me something about yourself? You say, yes, hello, sir. My name is so-and-so, and you tell your full name. Right? I hope that makes sense to all of you. Let me know if there's any question you can put on the chat box regarding every step that I'm talking about. Next, you talk about one simple line, where you hail from or where you reside. Okay, that means where you stay or where you live, but you don't say stay. Okay, you avoid that word. As I said, I live in Mumbai, for example. Then the next point you say, okay, I've completed, or I'm a commerce graduate, if you are a commerce graduate or a science graduate, whatever. And I'm currently pursuing my master's in so-and-so, if you're doing your MBA, or a post-graduation in whatever, or a post-graduation diploma in whatever. So whatever your current current education is, you can mention that, right? So start from your graduation and say what you're doing currently. So we do the past, present, and future. That is the format which I suggest my students. It's very easy because it's more like a storytelling, right? So I'm a commerce graduate. I've completed my graduation this, and I've majored in these subjects. Now currently I'm pursuing so-and-so thing, and I aspire to, get into this particular profession or course. So past, present, and future. Sure. The next thing you will talk about, of course, is your job experience. Okay, when we're looking at the framework, as I mentioned, you have to tell your short stint. Okay, in this role that you're currently pursuing, if currently working in, if you're working in any company, you will talk about why you like the company that you're currently working in. You will talk about what you've learned in that particular role, what responsibilities you handle. That's it, not anything beyond that, right? And any achievements, coming to the next point, or a unique passion. Now, even if you have an interest in sports, it's very important to mention it because any kind of sport requires team spirit, discipline, rigor, passion. Okay, it shows that you're a team player. It shows that you're dedicated. You can, follow routine. So that's why it's very important to mention any kind of passion you have or any interest. And if you have achieved anything in that, you should definitely mention that. The next thing you talk about is any strength, okay, or any particular skill set or aspirations that you have. I call it a SOG technique, wherein, you talk about your strengths, opportunities, aspirations, and goals. Now, when I say strengths, I will not talk about any strengths which I have. I will talk about the strengths which are relevant to that particular job role which I'm applying for. The strengths that are, something that the interviewer is looking for in you. And if you have that, please do not lie. My sincere request to all of you is be humble and be honest. But you do talk about your strengths and very confidently with conviction. You also talk about the skills you have. And when you talk about the skills, you will talk about the skills in relation to the job profile you're applying for. You will not say that I'm good at communication skills. Let me give you some examples, okay? So instead of saying that, oh, my communication skills are really good, Okay, we'll say that I am very good at communicating with people, and I feel that that is my biggest strength because it helps me handle a team better and give clear instructions and get my work done in a very professional manner. Okay, or I can handle a team of 10 people, which I have done in my previous job role, and I really get along well and hold the team together. I'm very good at coordinating and collaborating. So when you talk about any skill or any strength, another suggestion, please give an evidence, a supporting proof of why you think. For example, you say, I'm very good at time management. You don't stop there. Most of the students do that mistake. So when you say I'm very good at time management, you have to add on to it, say, giving an evidence or a proof or a supporting line, saying that, or an example, if you can understand that. So you say, I'm always punctual. I always complete my deadlines on time. I'm never late for any meetings. I'm never late for work. And I like to keep my day planned, and I always have a checklist and a to-do list, which I really adhere to strictly. And I try to avoid any kind of distractions or, any kind of time wasters in my life, because I believe in productivity rather than being busy. So that creates a very good impression. They say, he knows what time management means. इससे कोई चिपकाया नहीं है कोई skill कहीं से. No, it's not learned. And exactly, you will have to tell if it's a job role which requires you to be analytical, like a finance role or something. You will talk about your analytical skills if you have them. But please do not lie. Okay? The interviewer just knows subconsciously if you're lying. So with this, I think you're good enough with the question.
So I still remember the point, just to, throw some light on the point when you said if you're doing any extracurricular activity or passion or interest, you should highlight that. I remember my second job, after I switched Nielsen to the other company, that was a time when I told HR, in the interview, HR, in the overall process, the HR asked me about, do I have any other interest apart from the work and stuff? And I said, yes, I have multiple interests. I'm a professional tabla player. I'm a table tennis player. I do this, I do that. And it was so amazing experience. Let me tell you, I got selected on that first line when I said I'm a professional tabla player, because the guy sitting in front of me was a pianist. और ऐसा हो गया था कि उसको कोई ना कोई उसको ऐसा हो गया कि उसको बैंड पूरा हो गया उसका. So so it was like वो इतना स्माइल करने लग गया था, realized that I am selected. And I think, so his perception was कि काम तो तुम सीख ही लोगे, right? But the right set of people, coming into the team is the most important factor for most of the companies today, because everyone wants to work with like-minded people at the end of the day. All right. Thank you, man, for the wonderful answer. Especially, I like the SOAP framework. Strength, opportunity, aspirations and goals. I think that is what is going to help students a lot. Now I have the question which